Good morning. Well, here we are. It's Tuesday already. These weeks are just whistling past, aren't they? Um, so our topic for this week kind of follows on quite smoothly from what we were talking about last week. If you remember, we were looking at limiting beliefs, fears, blocks, things that we all have and that manifest themselves in our lives in different ways. But however it manifests, it's inconvenient. It holds us back and prevents us, I suppose, from showing up in our best possible way. So, what we are going to be doing this week is looking at um, why we have these feelings, what we call them, and actually why they're important for us, but also what we can do about them to prevent them from really sort of tightening their grasp on us and getting us to the point where it becomes the main thing that we focus on in our lives. So, the topic, of course, is shadow work, and that's very much what I'm going to be talking about for the duration of this week. Now, shadow work itself is it's intriguing, it's transformative. It really is sort of the process of delving into your subconscious to uncover and ultimately confront that darker, hidden aspect or aspects of your life, things that generally we know are there, but we don't always like to acknowledge. Now, today we are going to explore what shadow work is, why it is inherent in all of us, and why embracing your darker self is actually crucial for your own personal growth and your self realization. So, as much as it is tempting, and I'm sure we've all been there, to just kind of like try and push them to one side and forget those traits of our own that perhaps we don't like, it is actually necessary for us to face these things head on, to face our fears and work with them. So we're going to start off by having a look at what shadow work actually is. And the fact is that it is actually rooted in psychology, but also in spirituality. And it's the practice of literally shining a light, almost like a spotlight, on the parts of our psyche that we usually suppress and deny. Now, these hidden facets include things like we were talking about last week, so our fears, our insecurities. It could stem from trauma. It could be negative traits, habits that we have that actually we don't like about ourselves. And it's only by acknowledging and accepting these aspects that we are able to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our own behaviors and behavior patterns that keep showing up consistently in our lives. So, shadow work is really like diving beneath the surface of a nice, beautiful, calm lake and exploring the depths below. And it can be really quite enlightening and fascinating. Now, for sure, it's a journey that requires courage and a little bit of self compassion. In fact, a little bit more than a little bit of self compassion, because it's about bringing the subconscious to conscious awareness. It really is shining a flashlight into the darkest corners of your mind. And it's not about beating yourself up and saying that you're not good enough or what have you, because they're the things that have formed your shadows in the first place. It's about illuminating them, understanding why they are, thoughts or feelings that you formed, and working out what we can do about it. So, why do we have shadow? Well, the fact is, we all have shadow. I don't care who you are, you have shadow. And the shadow is actually a natural part of human experience. As we grow, societal norms, parental influences, cultural expectations, all of these things shape our conscious selves and our views of society, how we should act, how we should present ourselves in different situations. And we repress traits or emotions that are deemed unacceptable, undesirable, and we really sort of consign them, if you like, to our shadow. So we know that they're there, we have these traits, we try and ignore them. And this suppression is actually a survival mechanism because it can lead to inner conflict and emotional turmoil. And also, we are, as human beings, we are pack animals. We want to be accepted, we want to be loved, we want to have friends. So things that we perceive as negative or weaknesses or undesirable, we don't want to put those out on display and say, hey, look, I have this characteristic. You don't. You want to, naturally, you want to sort of, hide it away from the world. But if you think of it as an iceberg, then the tip represents our conscious self, what we show to the world, what we are, putting out there. Well, the vast submerged portion of what we have is actually our shadow, holding hidden desires, fears, and more often than not, unresolved issues that we've got from various things that have happened in our lives. Now, it really is super, super important to embrace your darker self. And I'm going to give you a few sort of reasons here. No, we're not going to go on for a long time today. We're going to give you sort of 4 or 5 reasons why it is so important to embrace your darker side, starting with self-awareness. Because shadow work actually fosters self-awareness, and it enables us to recognize and challenge patterns that no longer serve us. It's like cleaning a dusty mirror and seeing our true reflection for the first time, possibly in quite a long time. Shadow work is also really important for emotional healing because what it does is it encourages to confront our shadow and can really lead to profound healing as we address past traumas, perhaps, or emotional wounds, things that's hurt us in the past. It's a therapeutic process that is almost akin to tending neglected wounds, that you are finally, letting the air get to it and allowing them to start to heal. As I mentioned, it's really important for personal growth because by integrating the shadow, we unlock untapped potential, creativity, and resilience. We've all got it. It's almost as if we're discovering hidden treasure chest of talents and strengths within ourselves, because once we overcome the things that are holding us back, then literally there is no stopping us from bounding forward. Shadow work also enables us to regain or take control of healthy relationships, because understanding our shadow helps us relate to others with greater empathy and compassion. It's like removing the filters of colour on the perceptions of those we have around us. It can also be very therapeutic if you are somebody who consistently attracts the same kind of behavior, sometimes negative behavior from friends, partners, what have you. And until you address what it is within you that is allowing these people to treat you consistently, you could have 4, 5, 6 different people, completely different people. They might look different, they might come from different places, they might, but actually fundamentally they treat you the same, and it's not the way you want to be treated. And it's actually because of something within you that needs to be healed. And once you heal that, you will then stop attracting these people and you will go on to have much more healthy relationships in your life, whether they be romantic or otherwise. And then finally, and possibly I think one of the most important things is all about authenticity, because by embracing our shadow, it's allowing us to live authentically, free from the burden of hidden fears and insecurities. Now, wouldn't that be nice? Okay. It's akin to shedding layers of masks and armor and actually revealing our true selves to the world and saying, do you know what? This is me. And yes, I am vulnerable at times, but I know how to deal with these things. Now, this really has been very much a whistle-stop tour this morning, just to give you a little bit of an insider or a bit more in-depth information and knowledge about the kind of things that I'm talking about. But if you are intrigued by the idea of shadow work, then you're going to want to stay tuned throughout this week. And in particular, join me on Thursday, because we're going to delve even deeper into the fascinating journey of self-discovery. We're going to explore practical techniques for shadow work, and we're going to discuss the benefit of having a guide or a mentor when you're doing this deeper introspective shadow work, offering support and insights. And also we're going to be looking at getting a safe space for your transformational journey. So you don't want to miss out on this opportunity to step into the light and embrace your full, beautiful self. So for now, I'm going to sign off. As always, any questions, comments, support, anything you need, just drop me a message or comment on the page. I'm in and around often, so I see what's coming through. And as I said, I will be back on Thursday when we will go into the world of shadow work a little bit deeper.